New study tells us we should go ahead and eat meat. It's not actually bad for us. Fascinating. Not true. What is the truth of it? It wasn't actual research, but it was a group of people getting together, taking a look at other research that has been done by other people and trying to collate together what are the risks of not meat. But the question was very specific. If we were to cut back 3 servings of meat per week less, what would be the benefits? What would be the changes we'd see? So here's the data. 13% less chance of dying from everything in general. 14% less chance of dying from cardiovascular disease, heart attack, strokes, that sort of thing. 11% less chance of dying from cancer. 24% less chance of being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So that's what you get from reducing your meat intake by 3 servings a week. Personally, I think that's pretty amazing. Just that small change. Just 3 servings a week less meat, and you can see all those benefits. Some of the researchers interpreted it in a different way. They talk about absolute versus relative risk reduction. And the truth is, for most of us, our chances of dying of cancer in the next 5-10 years is actually not that great. And if we reduce it by 11%, we take a pretty small thing and we make it just slightly smaller. So the interpretation is because the benefits are so small in a relative sense, in an absolute sense, they might not mean too much for the average person. So therefore, don't do anything. So it's not that they found that meat was perfectly harmless. They argued that the benefits from reducing meat by 3 servings a week was not huge. It wasn't 90% or 95%. Therefore, don't do anything. And it's very similar to a cholesterol pill. Many people daily, as part of their daily routine, they take a pill to reduce their cholesterol called statins. If you look at the overall benefits of statins to an individual, you can make exactly the same argument, and it has been made that if you explain to people, here's the risk reduction by taking this pill every day, and if you explain it to them in absolute terms of, okay, your chances of heart attack in the next 10 years are such and such, and if you take this pill, it will then be reduced by this much, but it ends up still being small, most people wouldn't take the pill. In fact, that research has been done. It shows that people, if you explain it to them in that same way, they wouldn't even take the cholesterol pill. But for the same reason many people take the cholesterol pill, you should cut back your meat servings by 3 a week, and you could see these small benefits. From a public health point of view, it's actually highly beneficial. If we had 10% less cancer in our society, that would be a great burden off our health system. 24% less diabetes in our society. Imagine we'd have a health system that would actually work efficiently and be able to have extra space for all the people who don't have doctors. So from a public health point of view, it could make quite a difference. But if you reduced your servings of meat by 3 every week and you added 6 or 7 extra servings of vegetables to make up for the calories, then you'd have even more bang for your buck. And in fact, if you keep making changes, you will reach a point where you can feel the difference. And that's the key thing. With 3 servings less a week, you might not notice the difference. Just like a 25 cigarette a day smoker might not really feel much better if they cut down to 20 cigarettes a day. But boy, I can tell you that if you started reducing your meat consumption, increasing your vegetable consumption, increasing fibrous foods like legumes to replace the meat, you'll reach a point where you'll start to notice the difference. And we do know is people go to their doctor and they have all kinds of health issues. And many of these health issues can be dramatically improved, if not outright reversed. We know it's possible to reverse type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, so high blood pressure, many of these things we don't need pills for. We can actually radically change what we eat in a significant enough way that we no longer have these health issues. The meat study that proved that it's safe to eat meat, which of course didn't prove that at all, it just made a value judgment to suggest that relatively small reductions in risk might not be significant for people. Well, why not leave that to people to decide for themselves?